Okay, so River of Wellness has a river of questions. There's no problem, no problem. Happy to answer. So you were saying, uh, with the tinnitus, the anxiety can really get to you sometimes, and how did you overcome it? Well, first of all, so overcoming anxiety. First of all, we all get anxiety sometimes. We all have things that we're concerned about. So it's normal to be concerned about things. What's not normal is to think about the things too much. And that's more the problem when we have what where we start bordering on saying that we have a disorder, where we can't control our anxiety. We're just always thinking about this thing. And it could be anything. It could be your taxes, or you worry about your health, or you worry about guns, all kinds of things. You worry about coronavirus. And it's normal to be concerned sometimes, but it's not normal, and there's something we can do about it if we're overthinking something. And my personal definition of anxiety is habitual thinking, that where we have learned to worry habitually. So there is something we can do about it, and this is what most of my videos are about. And it's simply, we have a pattern of thought. And if you listen to some different people, I know, for example, I listen to Bob Proctor. He just recently died, but he lived to be quite an old age, and he was one of those positive thinking people. And he would say that, a pattern of thought can happen instantaneously, or you can develop into this pattern over a period of time. It can happen instantaneously when you suddenly have a ring in your ear, yeah, or something bad happens to you. You can quickly develop a new pattern of thought. So the solution is recognizing that you can change the pattern, and also recognizing how the conscious and subconscious brain works. So I've talked a lot about this, but why not? Let's keep on it. I might unturn another stone. Is unturn the right word? Okay, but yes, anxiety and the pattern. So first of all, we recognize it's a pattern, and we can change it, and we can change it by redirecting our thinking to something else. And initially, if you have really, really bad anxiety where you just can't stop thinking for anything, then the sky is the limit in terms of what you're allowed to think about. You can think about just about anything besides that problem, and if you can do it for 10 seconds or 30 seconds or a minute, good for you. So, a lot of it they talk about is behavioral, where okay, I've got a pillow here. I'm going to feel the pillow. What does it feel like? I kind of like squeezing on the pillow. Or maybe I'll give it a hug. Ah, that feels nice. But do you see how I just did something that moved my thinking to something else? So we have to learn to do that more often. And I've suggested there's a lot of different activities you can choose. For me personally, let me see. Oh, they're falling down. But I drew these pictures when I was having a lot of anxiety problems. So I wasn't a very good artist. This one's falling down. But I learned to draw, and I copied what I saw, and I used colored pencils. But you can see when I draw something. Let me pull one off here. When I draw something here, I drew these cartoon characters. I had to focus on each little line that I drew. And at first, it was kind of a silly thing to do. But then I realized, wow, that looks pretty cool. And I just found some cartoons and I copied them. And And I really got into it. And I would find that, hey, look, it took me 20 minutes or an hour even to draw a picture. And for a good amount of time, I was thinking of drawing. And I don't know if I really even like drawing that much. But I did. I think I did a pretty good job, But the whole thing there is just that I got my thinking on something else besides, worrying. That there was something wrong with me, and so this is how we cure anxiety. Is we learn to direct our thinking onto something else. And I know that sometimes I still do it. I get very obsessed with something, and I overthink it, and I think, like, I still have this toe problem where I've got a joint that's got something a little wonky with it in the toe, and I'm like, I start thinking, gosh, could I be crippled one day? Is this going to get worse? Should I walk differently? Do I need different shoes? And I start planning everything that I could do to solve this problem with the toe. And you know what it turns out is, it's the anxiety is the bigger problem, because the toe's going to be all right. I mean, I'm not going to be crippled. I may have some problems sometimes, but that's okay. I'm a pretty healthy guy. So that's number two. So first is redirecting your thoughts. Number two is you can battle back, fight back against those thoughts. So if you have some compelling thought, this tinnitus is going to make me miserable for the rest of my life. You say, no, that's not true. That's not true. As a matter of fact, even today, I enjoy doing this, this, and this. And yesterday, I enjoyed doing this, this, and this. I actually have the ability to enjoy certain things. So no, it's not going to ruin my life. I could get deaf. Well, I'm not deaf now. And I probably won't become deaf. Most people don't, But just whatever it's coming out of your brain, you got to fight it back with a redirect or a reply. You reply to it with, no, I absolutely will not allow this to bother me. I can enjoy being with my tinnitus. It's no big deal. And don't spend too much time on this one either. But just when you have that thought, you say, no, here's the better thought to have. You say, what would be anything you hear yourself saying? What might be a better way to say that would be better for me? So, I'm always anxious. Well, actually, I'm not always anxious, and sometimes when I work on not being anxious, doing some activities like drawing, for example, I'm actually not very anxious. I get into the drawing. You see what I mean? To just whatever that thought is, you've got to first say, no, I'm not. I don't have that problem, or whatever it is, I can cope with it. And actually, there's a better thought I can have. And then, back to number one is doing other things besides that thought. And then, I guess number three is just sort of learning to make this more of a pattern of thinking. Because we say anxiety is a pattern of thinking, so we want to decide on the new pattern that we wish to create. So first it was kind of a battle, and just think of anything else except for the bad thought. And then it's like, have a reply to that bad thought, and then it's like, okay, I've got these two tools now, and I'm gonna use them more often, and hopefully I'll even get to the point where you don't even need to think that way. You just get in a habit of doing other things, where you're not so anxious anymore. So, yeah, I think that's my formula for anxiety. I did have to take some medications for a little while, or maybe I didn't have to, but I think it helped a bit. But I'm so fortunate now I don't take any medications for anxiety or sleep or anything, but I did. But it's been, I guess, going on a month now that I finally got off the last one, which I had to go off of slowly. So, okay, we can always cover the same topic again, because I'm different every day, and what the words that come out of my, of what I think of my brain, come out of my brain, will be different each time. So, okay, best wishes for you, River of Wellness, and I think you can. You're starting to think the right way. So keep going.